Yo, what up guys, it's Redux Dominations here once again. Thank you guys for joining me here as always, and welcome back to some more Dominations goodness here for you guys. And today I'm going to talk about another thing that you guys have been asking me a lot. It's about the castle and the generals. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So my generals currently are Alexander, which is active, and you have Cleopatra. So we also have these other two generals right here, Nobunaga, and then we also have Napoleon. So Napoleon is a different type of general compared to the other three because he has very low hit points, but he's got 230 damage per second and 690 against defenders. So he has very high damage, but he has very low health. So he will go down pretty fast compared to the other ones. See, Nobunaga here, 10,000 hit points. Cleopatra 10,000. They're all the same. Cleopatra, Nobunaga, and Alexander, they're all the same. Now, why my Alexander has higher stats, 80 damage and 10,900, is because I upgrade him to level 3. So you can actually upgrade your generals at the blacksmith, and it's pretty good. You can do it once in a while. It's pretty cheap. Only takes 8 hours to do it. But my point right now here is that Napoleon is going to be different than the other three generals because he does a lot of damage, but he has half the health of the other generals. So basically, how I use Cleopatra, Alexander, and Nobunaga, I use them as tanks because they have so much health. I mean, let's take a look at Alexander right now. He's got 10,980 damage per second, 240. He has decent damage, but the main purpose of these guys are basically like knights. So if I was ever to use generals in an attack, I would always use him as a tank because he would be taking in all that damage, and 10,000 health is a lot to take. That's a lot of damage to take in. Now, this is my opinion on generals. I don't like using them for attack. You can also use them for defense as well. I don't like using them for attack is because you can only use them once and then they'll go ahead and have to heal up. So if they take any damage in the battle they're in, they will have to heal up. So it will take between 1 to 24 hours. So if they're dead, it will take them an entire day to revive up. But you also have a second general, and once you have multiple generals, you can actually frequently use these guys to attack, because once I get all 4 of them, I could probably just use them constantly for attacking, because it wouldn't matter if one of them died, because I would wait for somebody else to come back, or even if they got injured. If they get injured, you also have to heal up, but it won't take 24 hours. It depends on how much health you have lost. So if you lost like barely any health, you could even just take 1 hour to revive. And for defense, if you use one of these generals for your defense, if they die, then you have to wait like 12 hours. So it's like half the time compared to 1 day that you have to wait if the general dies in an attack. And after 12 hours, you can use them again for defense, of course. And you can also switch up your generals here. So if I decide to switch Alexander to Cleopatra, I can just pay 7,500 food. And Cleopatra is now active on my castle, as you see her on the top. It's not Alexander on the castle top here anymore. But basically, in defense, this is what happens. If anyone comes in close to the castle range, somewhere around the map, around the castle, the general will pop up and then attack the units that are coming at the castle, or anywhere around the castle here. So the Cleopatra or Alexander, Napoleon, or Nobunaga, any of these generals also act as a sort of a general knight defense as well. So that's very good as well. So the castle is very helpful, in fact, because they have generals, and they also have very good attack as well. Let's go ahead and just take a look at the castle. They have 5,800 hit points, 275 damage per second. So basically they're just like watchtowers, I guess, but they have a lot of hit points, and a lot of people are reluctant, and they'll probably not attack your base on this kind of flank. I have barely had anybody attack from this side because I had a castle right here. So your castle does act as a very great fortress that kind of blocks where people want to attack. They never usually attack on this side because I have a castle here. They just don't think it's worth it. So the castle does act as a great defensive buffer. Plus you get generals for attack and defense. Now I would probably use my generals for defense. I barely use my generals for attack because I prefer to have them alive and ready to defend just in case I need them, because they do help a lot. The generals do help a lot in defense because of how much health they have. They're so good at leading that charge, leading the battle, and I just prefer not to use them for attack because I don't like them dead. I don't like waiting like 12 to 24 hours just to get them back. I think it's ridiculous. Honestly, I don't think the general should die in an attack, but it does make sense that even if they get injured, even if they don't attack, even if they don't die, and you have to wait for the generals to come back if you want to use them to attack. Now, I understand why the developers did this is because they probably don't want you to abuse the generals every single time, every single attack, because the generals kind of are unfair because they have like 10,000 health, and they are they're pretty damn strong. I'll tell you that right now. The generals are very strong. So I think it is kind of abusive if you were able to use it constantly in battle. So that's why they probably make you wait even if it doesn't die, even if your general doesn't die. So that's my opinion on it. But yeah, there you go. And also another thing, should you rush the castle building in the medieval age or the gunpowder or whatever age you're at? You'll get this at the medieval age, but should you ever rush the castle? In my opinion, it's kind of a no, because it does take like 3 to 4 days or maybe 2 days to build it. I don't think it's a building should prioritize, but if you have the time, make sure you do get it, because it is a great defensive buffer. So yeah, there we go, guys. That's basically about the castles and generals that you guys probably wanted to know. So yes, there we go. That pretty much summarizes everything here. And yeah, once again, thanks for watching this video, guys, and I do appreciate that y'all been checking out my channel, of course. Thank you guys once again. Keep dominating your opponents. I'll be back with more awesome domination goodness for you guys, and I'll see you guys later.